Maybe. Like, his biggest obstacle has always been Ben. I do remember last tournament, he was actually in a bit of trouble in the group stage. He lost a race early on, and it was looking like he essentially needed to win all of the rest of his races, and other people had to lose to progress. But anyway, enough about that. We're starting off.
Both are doing the same start here. We have the ball and chain guard, it looks like, on the left, and just regular plain old Link on the right.
That is a nice sprite. Both using the sign strats. If you can handle the air pumping, or whatever it is, you can typically make that pretty fast, instead of just using the bush strats. Getting bombs from the tree, too, that's a really nice find.
Something more interesting to note, too, is Furaime got a little bit of that extra RNG and got a bomb from his sign throw, and Christos didn't.
Yeah, we got our first Palace of Darkness small key, which is probably very important. Palace of Darkness has 6 small keys, so we'll probably be seeing a lot of them throughout this run. An interesting thing is, though, that you can skip a lot of those keys, or at least like 2 of those keys. So with luck and with like the bow in hand, you can typically get through it full clear with only 4 keys.
Yeah, you need the bow, and you also need that hammer too. Something I forget all the time, but the bow will get you over to that side, but you can't get past that key door unless you can hammer those pegs down too. But I guess we have exactly the same runners here doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah, this is a pretty risky play, although there are some nice bomb strats to make this a bit more painless than it usually is. Typically speaking, you'll want a weapon before going downstairs here because you're forced into rooms with these blue knights. But Christos and Furaime are showing these really nice bomb strats that make it a breeze.
Wow, and getting paid off with an early glove too. That's going to be really nice. It kind of helps out your routing as well. And yeah, it takes if you do it correctly, it takes a minimum of 5 bombs to make it all the way to Zelda's chest. Which, coincidentally enough, is technically not within the key logic that we've seen so far, because all of these chests, past that first chest, are actually locked by 1 Hyrule Castle small key to prevent soft locks.
It is true. So Christos completing his bomb strats here. Getting a key for downstairs. We'll see what's in Zelda's chest. We'll also probably see a death orb on at least one of these runner sides.
Maybe. I would be a little worried to do a death warp and finding that chest with literally nothing to guide me in the dark.
Maybe.
But I would love to see it, and it'd be really nice if they could do it too, because then after that they could just spawn at Sanctuary and grab those 3 chests and literally be done with all of the escape portion.
Doesn't look like we're getting a death warp, unfortunately.
It's a really difficult thing to do with no way to track your movements in a dark room.
So it looks like we're going to be heading over to Kakariko on both sides. Nice. But Chris is actually checking the backside of Escape here.
I was hoping that'd be the play that they make next. You're not used to getting gloves so early, so it could be something you forget. But yeah, they're both continuing to do the same route and grab those 3 chests as well.
Yeah, not only gloves, it's bombs as well. Sometimes you have the gloves, but you don't have the bomb to do anything in here.
Yeah, that's true too.
Another Palace of Darkness small key.
Alright.
Seeing a lot of early Palace of Darkness keys is, like, really suspect.
Yeah, it's kind of a neon sign saying, hey, why don't you go to pot whenever you get the chance? Alright.
So Furaime, looks like Furaime is actually going to be going over towards Eastern Palace already.
Yeah, he will most definitely check the front 3 from Sishrala. We can see what the green pendant is. I'm not sure if he'll go into Eastern or not. And we have Christos doing the north to south route through Kakariko. Oh, and there's a moon pearl where the mushroom should be.
That's a good find. It's an item you might like to have. Oh, we have a vanilla green pendant as well.
I hope we have vanilla boots too. Oh, that's a 10 bomb drop. That is, by the way, we're playing on version 29, brand new version that dropped yesterday. That's something you never saw in the pool.
Yep. We also have a sword behind Sahasrara. So it looks like with this sword in hand, Furaime is going to be checking the south shore of Hyrule, or maybe just going over towards Desert Palace first. Well,
Yeah,
Christos...
how this...
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, while Christos is doing a more traditional route going straight into Kakariko.
Yeah, how this route works for Furaime's side is he's kind of hoping that he finds pieces that you might need to turn in Kakariko without having to make a specialized trip there, since, you know, there are a few fetch quests that, you know, you can only complete in Kakariko. They really get hard countered when all the good stuff's just in Kakariko to begin with, because, you know, it does have a greater chest density as well.
Mm-hmm. And just to update us, Furaime did find the fire rod here inside of the dam, whereas Christos found a pretty useless small key in Blind's hut.
Yeah, I guess you could still use that to go to that sewer chest the back way. I don't know if that would be any quicker than walking through the front, though. I don't think I've ever timed those.
Furaime checking Mini Moldorm, while Christos is just grabbing bombos here inside Kakariko well. And some compasses. Wow.
Wow. Rename that to the cartography well. That was just all the map information there. Well, there's a small key to Swamp in Mini Moldorm, as well as the big key to Turtle Rock. Won't have to worry about that test.
Oh, sorry. We also have a Sphere 1 book here. Wonder where Furaime's going to be going soon.
Ooh, that's really interesting, actually. And he has the small key to Desert to pair with it as well. That does make that trip over to Agina's cave a little less painful, because you can do a couple of other things on the way.
Mm-hmm. And that Swamp Palace key that Furaime found is also probably very important. It locks everything except for one chest inside of Swamp Palace. Probably the most important small key in the game, typically speaking.
I wish they would just replace that small key door with, like, the big key. Just because it really is just a big key. No, it's just a map on the library. I doubt we'll be seeing that. I don't know, you never know.
So Christos is finishing his Kakariko loop, while Furaime is just about to start it. The only thing is that Furaime also did quite a bit more than Christos at this point.
Yep, and interestingly enough, with both of their items combined, we don't have our Dark World access. I mean, we do have, you know, grabbing 3 chests on the desert side, plus Agina and Desert Ledge at large, but we're still looking for that Dark World access. I mean, only one item away from getting it, albeit Hammer or another glove.
Yeah. In terms of places we haven't seen, it's basically Desert, which I think is a pretty high probability for containing progression. I don't believe Furaime actually went into Eastern, unless I'm
No,
mistaken.
he just went and grabbed the 3 chests from Sash. He didn't take the gamble into Eastern yet.
Yeah. Eastern early is kind of a double-edged sword, just because in like open or standard mode, you'll typically want to do it because you can get everything except for the boss, right? In this mode, you have to leave behind a big chest unless you have that big key. So
Yeah.
a lot of times there might be, say, something in the big chest, and you'll get like the big key later on, but not the bow, and then you'll have that chest looming over your head.
I've seen that happen before, and I've seen that you needed to get what was in that big chest before you could, even go and fight Armos as well.
So Christos showing that lacking a sword isn't really a bad thing in this mini Moldorm cave if you have good timing with the bomb throws.
Yeah, he cleaned those up pretty well, and he had 10 bombs too, so plenty to spare. Just need to make sure you don't forget to use all of them except one. If you're planning on checking Ice Shroud Cave, I always forget to do that. Yeah, we're just kind of watching them cover each other's footsteps, and then I think, I wouldn't be surprised if we see them synced into going into the Desert Palace area. Christos has to be careful, though. He can't take any more damage from any source here.
I guess during this lull, I'd like to give a shout out to our tracker Dude. It's especially a pretty hard thing to do to track the early game when two players take completely different routes, so shout outs to him.
Not to mention Keysanity, that added like 400 more buttons he has to press to. Tracking became a very skillful position lately. So we always appreciate the work they do, and they keep us honest as well.
So the question here, does Christos go into Eastern? Or is he just going to do the same thing Furaime did? Check these 3 chests and leave? Personally, considering Eastern is a pendant, I would probably make that would probably make me more likely want to go into Eastern Palace rather than avoid it for later.
I think he'll go in also. He's not going to find anything in here that, is like giving him a lot of other things to do. All he was getting was a sword. So yeah, he's leaving this house and not saving quitting. So we probably expect to see him go in there.
Now the seed could be very mean and require us to actually finish Eastern Palace for that green pendant, but yeah, I do like this play by Christos.
And
also, oh, sorry.
Oh, we got a small key from Ice Palace and bottle vendor. I don't know if Christos had the money to check it. Furaime took the extra trip downstairs in Blind's Hut to farm up a few more rupees to get it.
Yeah, I was gonna say the key for Ice Palace, while not strictly necessary, is it makes your routing so much simpler.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about anything. All you need to do, there's our Dark World access in Eastern Palace.
First chest in Eastern. Oh boy, that's really good for Christos because I don't think Furaime is going to be heading into Eastern. I think he's going to go to Desert after this.
Yeah, but what's in Desert? I mean, the seed has been pointing them directly over there with that small key in that book. Something's got to be there, I think, unless we're getting like uber trolled.
Well, you were saying something about them needing this green pendant to finish the seed. We're about to see if you're going to need it specifically to pull the pedestal, because Furaime has the book on his first trip up to this area.
A small key that steals light.
I guess it's a Palace of Darkness small key.
Yeah. So that was probably not necessary. Emphasis on probably.
That's really interesting, though. Something that does tell you right off the bat, just because of how the logic works, every item to complete every dungeon should be not in Ganon's Tower, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's true.
It also tells us that pot is definitely a crystal also.
It does. But yeah, I don't really expect either of these players to be running and grabbing that pedestal unless strictly necessary.
No, they can both do the hammer jump. That'll save you a small key there, so they really shouldn't need it for anything else. If anything, I feel like the only way you would ever need to get a small key from Pod off the pedestal is if it locked, I don't know, maybe the first or second key, but once you have 2, you should definitely be able to skip it.
So Christos is opting to go into desert as well, despite having that Dark World access.
Okay.
I think he thinks, you know, that's early book and early Desert Palace small key is suspect as well.
Yeah,
So
it's not a bad play either. I mean, you don't want to be leaving something behind, because now that he's got his Dark World access, it could be forever before he really finds a good opportunity to come back over here, and you'd hate to be missing something that good for the entirety of the seed.
Yeah, something like the flute or the mirror, even if they don't lead to anything right now, are like that sort of thing is just really nice to have. It's like a good utility item.
Christos was in Eastern really fast. I'm not sure if I missed it or not. Did he just check the front 3? Did he go and get the 4th one in the dark room?
I don't believe so, but could be wrong.
That would have been really quick. I should have been paying more attention, but I mean, I thought I would have seen him go over there, and I don't recall, so...
Well, we do have chat to illuminate us on this topic.
Interestingly enough, though, too, I mean, you did get this early book and early desert small key. That could just be saying, hey, whenever you get the big key, go kill Landmola, because that is essentially locked by that small key, too. So this could be just somewhat of a red herring.
Yeah, we did see what's behind that key door as well.
Yeah, there was nothing there.
Yeah. So it looks like the sea trolled them a little bit. Furaime, I believe, only has Eastern Palace to do after this.
Yeah.
So we'll be getting Furaime's hammer as well. Christos is going to be saving and quitting here in just a moment.
I don't think Furaime is going to be heading to Eastern. I think he is going to sequence break himself up Death Mountain. That's a really interesting play. There's not too much up here. I mean, he does get the save up to the mountain, which can, you know, help him out a little bit, but it's an interesting play. It almost makes me wonder if he thinks that the item he's missing in Eastern is just going to be the lamp.
That's a good idea, especially because he has the fire rod. It's safer to skip the lamp. So if Furaime does find the mitts up here, that might be, you know, helpful for him.
Maybe. I don't know. I think if you're rooting for Furaime or you're a Furaime fan, you kind of hope he finds nothing up here, because the more stuff he finds will be the longer it takes him to get that hammer.
Unless he gets the bow sometime soon.
Also, getting rock blocks there hurts too. Oh no, I think he can still squeeze in there, yeah.
I believe he's fine.
He's got to be a little careful about those rocks, and you know what? I'll just save and quit, because that one was probably coming for my head anyways.
So Christos is opting to take the Kakariko village warp instead of the one near Hype Cave.
Alright, cool. That was very convenient. 5 and 6 is at Pod and Ice Palace today, the 2 maps that they found.
Don't even have to talk to the bomb merchant.
Hey, he looks kind of weird too. I wouldn't want to talk to him either, so... It saves you 2 screen transitions also. This is a speedrun after all. With the fire rod and sword in hand too, Christos can actually make his way all the way over to Mothula if he wants as well.
Who wants to do that? With 5 hearts.
Well, it got a little easier for him. He got a banana hat.
Yeah, that's true. It does have the hammer too, although hammer strats on Mothula are also pretty painful.
Yeah, it takes like 4 hits to kill him with the hammer. What is it? 8 fire rod shots, I think? Or is it more than that? No, it's 8 fire rod shots, and then it takes roughly 62,000 fighter sword slashes. That's the accurate math on how to kill Mothula.
Yeah. Plus or minus like 5,000, depending on how many times Mothula hits the spikes.
Yeah, that's true.
But Furaime gets to take the quote-unquote shortcut up to Eastern Palace here. And Christos is opting to at least check what's in the vanilla big key chest. We'll see if Christos decides to go to Mothia proper.
I mean, you might as well. You're over here. And if you were intending on doing it to begin with, you just got blue mail, so you should at least feel twice as confident.
Yeah.
But, you know, 2 times 0 is still 0, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's my opinion as well.
So Furaime will be getting his hammer here, and... Oh, there's my Dark World access. Alright. Never feels good when it's one of the last locations you check.
I'm a bit surprised that Furaime didn't just save and quit right there. I mean, I guess you're in the dungeon, might as well just, you know, continue, but still, like, that's what you were missing right there.
Yeah.
Christos is opting to go at least into this final leg of Skull Woods. We'll see if he's going towards Mothula. I'd assume he is, but...
Yeah, I don't think you'd come all the way over here without doing it. I mean, both these runners are very good. I do not... I think Christos is very capable of pulling this off. Wow.
That is the best thing to see right now.
Yeah, that makes it much nicer to do.
So that's going to make Mothula a whole lot easier with the Fire Rod.
You don't have to get all up in his face anymore to do it. It's basically just like a nice range upgrade attack. A ranged Tempered Sword against Mothula. Farming up those hearts a little bit. I don't blame him. Can only take 5 bodied hits, or I think everything will still do 1 damage to you, if I recall. Yeah, even with blue mail.
Spikes always do 1 damage. That's probably the biggest threat in that fight, honestly.
Yeah, and I think getting hit by the beam or getting hit by Mothula is 2 hearts with green mail, so it should be a full heart with blue. So, you can take 5 hits here. Use them wisely.
Chris got a nice Master Sword tier hit with that first spin attack. Getting in a good pattern here as well. Taking down Moth with no problem at all.
Yeah, that was very well done. He was very aggressive too. So, fortunately, I'm rewarded with the red pendant. Ooh, that was Canis Samaria in the Dark Room in Eastern that Christos glossed over.
Oh my, that might be bad for Christos.
Yeah. And that's 100% required this seed too, because either Meyer or Total Rock is going to be a pendant. Or, crystal, excuse me.
Yeah.
Or both. Wow, that's really interesting.
Since Eastern is a pendant, the chances of Christos going back in are lowered. And we don't even know, like, the Eastern Palace Big Key might be inside Ganon's Tower, and if that's the case, Christos has even less of a reason to go back into Eastern.
It's not going to be in Ganon's Tower. We already have the information on that, because we know what's on that pedestal, but it could still be locked by a whole bunch of things.
Oh, that's true.
Ooh, there's the bow over in Hype Cave. Wow.
Appropriately hype. And Ether.
There was 1 extra pod small key over in Skull Woods that Furaime would probably be a little happier getting before he heads over to that pod area, but now you got the bow, you've just been getting small keys to pod. I'd probably make a trip in there.
Yeah, and Furaime's probably going to be heading into Palace of Darkness right now. Or at least maybe after... No, just going to Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, he has a lot of chests available to him right now. How many is that? Like 7, 8? Well, there's Big Key to Hera in the chess game.
Depends on how Furaime uses the keys that that he has.
Yeah, still really annoying though, because I mean, if he wants to check all the chests he can do right now with the keys he actually has to make like 3 trips around those mimics to do so.
Yeah, and since this is V29, if Furaime, for whatever reason, had the big key for this dungeon, I mean, the big key might even be inside here. Pretty sure we're still going to avoid any sort of key lock if Furaime opted to just go directly to the boss.
Oh yeah. Oh, and that's a small key to Hera, or excuse me, the Thieves Town, actually in Thieves Town. That's always fun. So the runners won't have to worry about the big chest. That's a big key to Misery Mire over there.
Yep. Probably required, depending on whether or not Mire is a crystal or a pendant. By the logic, it's strictly required.
Yeah. I wonder what our last pendant's going to be today. If I were to guess, I'm going to say it's Hera since they have the big key for it. This game loves to give you the means to complete pendant dungeons early. We've already seen that with Skullwoods.
Christos getting a nice death warp here in Thieves Town. That's one thing about Keysanity. In standard and open mode, the choice to either do only the first 4 chests in Thieves Town versus clearing the entire thing is like an actual choice. But in this, it's like, just do the first 4 chests, because even if you don't have the big key, you'll be back later.
And there's our big key to Desert Palace on the Bowlock side of Pod. That's a really interesting one right there, considering they did give us the book and the small key and all that stuff that, you know, Lando could be locked behind. I would be very interested in that if I was playing this seed. Nice compass from the digging game. He's digging up a little bit more. Probably wants a couple more bucks. He actually can't go into Pod right now.
Yeah. Probably get enough money soon.
Hey, just showing off his digging skills here. You can get a little bit more money. There he goes. Now he's got his Pod money.
Furaime is gonna be opening up the vanilla big key chest door. So Furaime will, at the very least, be able to make it to the backside of Palace of Darkness. Now, whether or not we'll be able to open any of those key doors is another story.
Yeah, at this point, you're kind of hoping you find one more small key in this dungeon, just so that's not the chest you leave behind, because it's like the worst one to check. But, I mean, I guess if you don't have the big key yet, you might be coming back to this dungeon, then you have to go to the backside anyways. But skipping that middle door, again, he's making another trip through this Mimic cave room.
Yeah. Unless I'm mistaken, if you decide to skip opening that door and you want to full clear this dungeon in any sort of efficient way possible, you have to go through this room 3 times.
Yeah, if you only have 4 keys and the big key, you'd have to go through it 3 times to grab everything. It's a lot of fun.
Christos picking up his bow. Probably also heading over to Palace of Darkness, but with an extra key compared to Furaime.
Yeah, so yeah, depending on the route that he takes, he'll be able to check that extra chest. I wonder how he feels about getting that big 300 drop after he spent about 10-15 extra seconds farming money at the big game.
Probably not that great, but it's Randomizer. Furaime having a little bit of trouble with the hammer yump, unless he wasn't trying to set it up.
He wasn't trying to do it yet. There's the midst pod, because once he gets in there, he can't get out to check these chests because he won't have a small key to leave the room.
That's true. So with the mitts in hand,
I mean,
dwarves.
Yeah, I was going to say, that doesn't really open up too much. You can do the dwarves and the hammer pegs. There's a hook shot, though, so that opens up a ton more. And
Yeah, but
ChristosOwen just on the boots on Pyramid. Holy crap.
I bet Furaime's going to be very happy seeing those boots that, that he neglected to pick up.
I don't know when he's going to go over there.
Probably after this, I would wager.
Ooh, I don't know. He just got mitts and hookshot. He might be hot-tailing it to Death Mountain. And you're not death warping out of here. You're saving quitting.
While it takes a while to run out of the Palace of Darkness area, I think in Keysanity especially, leaving stray locations like Catfish and the Pyramid is like a recipe for disaster.
It most certainly is, but man, you just gotta... He just had like... How many... That's like 5, 7, 13, 14, 15... That's like 16 locations open to him right there. Not including Hera, which he won't have the big key to finish.
Now, one caveat about that, Furaime is still waiting on a sequence-broken item that I believe he's okay with leaving out entirely in the lamp.
Oh yeah, he doesn't want it. Yeah, he just saved and quit the Sanctuary in an accident. I think now he's probably going to be heading to Death Mountain.
So Furaime's going to be bootless. Christos is going to be caneless.
Caneless. Oh man, this got really interesting.
We've already seen one of the places that Boots unlocks in the lamp in Desert Palace, and that was nothing, I'm fairly sure. There's 2 other locations near Sanctuary, and I guess Ganon's Tower Big Key, but I guess we don't have Ganon's Tower Big Key yet, so it could still be on the lamp.
Yeah. Oh, and just having, I mean, they do unlock items, but, you know, the extra mobility, and especially, you know, the longer your opponent has them, opposed to you is, you know, just the net time loss that you have as well.
Yeah. But I really don't see Furaime leaving the Pyramid for too long. I mean...
It really just depends on what he finds. This will be really nice for Christos, too, whenever he gets his mitts hookshot combo over here, because when he heads up to the mountain, he can actually go over and complete Hera, whereas Furaime is going to have to make that trip into Thieves Town. I believe that's where that big key was. It was either Thieves Town or Skull Woods, or both. I know he'd found the Myra one and the Thieves Town one, or the Hera one over there.
So far, East Death Mountain isn't paying off. We did see a blue cane inside Paradox Cave.
Okay, you got Spite Cave right over there as well. Ooh, there's a big key.
Furaime opting to go into Hera without that big key, unfortunately.
Yeah, he doesn't have the mirror right now, so this routing gets a little tricky. Either he has to do Hera now, because if he goes to the Dark World, he has to make a second trip to climb up the mountain just to check this stuff, and this is where this kind of gets a little nasty for him, especially knowing that that big key is somewhere else.
Yeah, so we get a mushroom here in Tower of Hera. We'll see if that's worthwhile. The thing is, if Furaime had the mirror, that would be the perfect time to go to Catfish and Pyramid.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Or maybe just maybe just fake powder with that mushroom. My God, has that play been paying off big lately?
Yeah, that's actually a thing. Furaime's also not forgetting to check the tablet out here. We do have the Book of Medora. Nothing in the tablet.
On the ether.
Christos is just going through the motions of going through Palace of Darkness.
Yeah. Man, I feel like having the boots in Palace of Darkness is just such a huge advantage. It's a very long dungeon, especially to check everything. And he'll have one other chest to check in here too that we wouldn't have seen from Furaime's side. So I'll be very curious what's in that harmless Hellway chest, I believe is what it's called.
Yep. Furaime's also showcasing why having the boots is a good thing.
Yeah, the good old resident sleeper cave here. I imagine after this too, if he's really that interested in being diligent in his routing, he'll probably climb up the mountain in the light world and see if he can open Turtle Rock. And I mean, he has 2 keys and the big key in there, so you can make it the laser bridge. Oh boy, that's a lot of stuff to check before you find your boots.
Yeah. Furaime's also found the Master Sword inside Spiral Cave, so it wasn't a waste.
Oh, that's nice.
Also going to be doing what you said, going at least to open the teleporter to Turtle Rock, and using that teleporter to get to Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny Cave. This route is always a little bit weird for me, just because I find it incredibly easy to forget about Super Bunny Cave if you're using this teleporter.
Oh, really? Oh, I feel like this is the preferred way to check Super Bunny Cave, just because you don't have to go through all those stair transitions and stair climbs and all that. You just go in there and you open the 2 chests and you leave.
So Christos also finding his first bottle as well as the hook shot. I don't think we've seen the sick kid yet, have we?
No. You said he had found a bottle? I should have been checking. I think that was in that bottom room then. It looks like Furaime has a bottle too on his tracker.
Yeah, they both got it there.
Oh, okay. I must have missed that. So he'll be doing his hammer jump, but yeah, he's got his Death Mountain Axis as well.
Furaime getting the full magic refill. Good man. Another B-Torp. That's 2 of them so far.
Oh, it had to have been a sword in that room then.
Yep.
Okay. I was watching the other screen. I think I have 2 eyes. You think I could watch them both, but I get tunnel vision real bad.
Yeah, same. So Furaime's given us a glimpse into Hookshot Cave here. So far, not paying off.
Oh no, that's the worst when he gets you on the last one.
It's especially annoying because we can't actually get that big key that's out on the ledge. So Furaime went through this for not much and can't get the probably vital big key on that island. But we will be seeing the entrance to Turtle Rock.
And that was a red mail over in King's Tomb.
I think he need the red mail. He's dead.
They buried him with his armor. I think that was Desert Palace is the last pendant, if I'm not crazy. That was like the quickest map check I've ever seen, but I thought I saw a weird looking thing over there in Desert.
Alright, so powder in the first chest of Thieves Town. That could lead us to something good. As you said before, Furaime actually had the opportunity to do fake powder if he so chose to do so.
Yeah, it looks like we got Fetch Quest Mountain over here. It's pretty silly. This is our first lumberjack check from both players, if I recall. Looks like just a piece of heart. Where's that lamp hiding at? That's pretty interesting that we haven't found that.
Yeah. I don't know. Lamp can be in some very weird places. When you think about it, Lamp doesn't really block off a whole lot in an open Keysanity seed.
With where they found the mitts and all that other stuff, it makes you a little curious.
It makes me think that something like Ice Palace, Misery Mire, or Turtle Rock might not pay off.
Oh, they most definitely shouldn't have a lamp. Man, I'm almost starting to think that that lamp might be from the big chest of desert or landmo or something.
Maybe upstairs in Hera, where Christos is going?
I don't think so, because you would have needed the hook shot to get over there too. And I think all of Death Mountain is lamp locked right now. Huh, okay, that's really interesting. At this point, they should, both of them should know that as well.
Yeah, where can it be?
Like, it's very likely to be in desert. It's pretty silly.
Yeah. I can only think of desert right now.
Maybe Spike Cave, but I feel like you'd need a couple of other things to make that work for you.
Well, our Cane of Burna was blocked by the hookshot.
Yeah, I'm still missing some pieces. And I forget what locks that Spike Cave these days anyways. Furaime needs to scoot up a little bit, and then you can throw those bombs.
These bombs are made out of rubber, apparently.
Throwing bouncy balls at the wall there.
Fortunately, Furaime cannot check Mimic Cave. Hopefully it's not important. Though
Yeah.
Christos is probably going to be going into Turtle Rock as well, let's be real here.
Furaime's taking a Death Warp right now.
Probably just for a refill.
He had a lot of health. I wonder if this is to make a play on the vanilla big key chest. He's really thinking about it. I guess he's gonna go do Laser Bridge instead. He really wants to go do it. You need to make a decision here. I guess he is gonna go do that. I guess he's not gonna go do that. All right, we're gonna do Laser Bridge. He was gonna go steal a key from the Pokey, I think. Oh, yeah. So I don't think he went that way.
He would need a key. I guess maybe he's just...
Okay. I'm actually
I don't know.
confused. Yeah, he probably should have grabbed that key to begin with. He got the flippers.
Okay. So that gives us Ice Palace.
I'm not quite sure what he's doing here.
I think Furaime... Yep, Furaime probably remembered. But are we going to be seeing Laser Bridge, or are we just going to be seeing what's in the vanilla big key chest?
I think he's going to check the vanilla big key chest, and if it's nothing, he's gonna reset. Or I have no to do. He's probably gonna die and go check Laser Bridge. That's actually what he's most likely gonna do. Alright, he's gonna check the vanilla big key chest. And then he'll reset here and not do Laser Bridge, I guess.
Okay. So he got a hard reset there. Which is kind of curious. Is Furaime going to go into Ice Palace right now?
Furaime! You're on the pyramid!
Uh-oh.
How did you get there? That's not supposed to happen. What just happened? How did that happen? He was on the pyramid and he could have gotten the boots.
Yeah, we're experiencing some technical difficulties here, people.
Oh man, that would have been the greatest technical difficulty for him, and he didn't take advantage of it, which is very noble.
Wait a second.
Yeah, I have no words for that. How did that just happen? Yeah.
Didn't he do a hard reset? How does he have the flippers still?
Oh, because he died.
Wow.
He died after he got the flipper.
He did. Okay. So Furaime's stocking up on potions before probably heading into Ice Palace.
Oh man, I wish he would just go take advantage of that brand new feature we found and go get those boots, I feel like he would be a lot happier with them. That's really interesting. I don't know if I should be, but I'm really trying to wrap my brain around how that was possible. Anyways, Christos got his temper.
Yeah, I think we should just all blame Willard. Somehow his fault.
Oh, yeah, I think that Willard putting in bad features to the game again.
Yeah.
I hate it when he does that.
Seeing our first sick kid here. Just a map. So he's a cartography kid. So Furaime is just doing some cleanup. I don't know. I don't know why he's doing this instead of just going in Ice Palace.
Doing Ice Palace without the big key can be a little treacherous because, man, when you leave that dungeon behind and, you know, that's the only thing you need is that whatever's in that big chest, it's typically the last place you look.
Yeah. By the logic, you do need the big key to beat the dungeon. Oh, Eastern.
Oh, it's our big key to Eastern. No surprise there, because that is, again, required by logic to not be locked in Ganon's tower, so we were going to run across it eventually.
Yeah, but that's still 3 items in Eastern Palace.
And for Christos, it's 4.
Yeah. So Christos might be back in Eastern Palace pretty soon, depending on when he bothers to go, you know, into, you know, the magic bat. But the thing about Ice Palace, you do need the big key to finish the dungeon, but pretty sure only two locations are blocked behind the big key. That being the big chest and...
You want to know something funny about that? I mean, unless Christos... Actually, he can't, so... Christos has to go to Eastern Palace to get the Eastern Palace big key. There's no way around it.
Oh, man.
Because the powder's in Turtle Rock, and you need the cane to do that, and you also need the cane to do fake powder, so that's in Eastern.
That is funny.
So I was thinking that's really fortuitous for him, because it might give him an excuse to go back there, but yeah, he has like literally no reason to go to Eastern. Except to check that one chest. And it's never going to change. Oh no.
Oh man, it's such a late game item too. It's something that can throw a huge wrench in the works in terms of your routing.
I guess what is really lucky for him so far is that he won't be persuaded to do flipper lock things. Because he's not going to get the flippers until he goes back into Eastern Palace. He has that going for him.
Okay. So Christos is going to be confirming our hypothesis here on where the heck the lamp is, probably.
I think it's almost guaranteed to be it. Either Landmo or the big chest. If I were to put money on it, I would say Landmo just because of where that desert small key was.
Wait a second. Yeah, probably has to be Landmo.
I mean, it could still be in the... Yeah.
It's so weird to have an item like the lamp out of sequence.
Yeah, it's kind of the weird one you find. You're like, oh, okay. But I didn't want this. I actually wanted real progression, not like progression I can circumnavigate. Where's my mirror? Where's my, cane? Where are my flippers or flute? That's really what they're looking for.
All right, so Furaime is going to be finishing off Mothula here soon, in a much better state than Christos was. Actually, not really much better, only 2 additional hearts. This is a pretty heart-poor seed.
Yeah, he's coming down here to get his blue mail, so that'll take, I guess, or it was half magic. Blue mail was in the further chest, so that takes a little bit of the stress off. But yeah, he's going to get rewarded with absolutely nothing from this fight, and he knows he doesn't need it as well because he did check the pedestal.
Yep. Christos is about to finish off Land Molus.
Which is nice. He can prove that, you know, we know what we're talking about here and give us... I mean, I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be the lamp. It could be the mirror, I suppose, or shovel. I don't think the flute would work. The mirror would be the most interesting.
The cape.
Or that. Okay.
Did we
That's...
see the ledge?
I don't know if we saw the ledge or not, and that also unlocks... I mean, I guess Aga Tower has already been unlocked.
Oh. That's one chest that's the bane of many a runner.
I don't know if we did see the bumper. I bet Christos is really wishing, if he didn't check it, that he had.
Chad is saying it's just an arrow upgrade.
Okay, that's interesting.
Christos going into Aga Tower, probably.
Hmm.
Nope. He wasn't okay with sequence breaks before, people. It's okay with them now.
I mean, I guess we know that one of those swords was technically locked by a dark room. The other one is locked by quite a few pod small keys, so most likely it could theoretically be locked by a dark room as well. So that could make sense why you need the cape to get your lamp in the first chest in Aga Tower. We have to keep going with this so we can be right. We don't want people thinking we don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, there's really scraping the bottom of the barrel in terms of locations that aren't sequence broken right now. And Christos opting, just gonna save and quit instead of taking a lengthy death warp from rats and ropes.
I mean, at this point, I think, God, what? The only thing that Christos has left within the logic that he knows it is Aga Tower or checking Zora. And then after that, you know, if he does find the lamp here, that would unlock, you know, Purple Chest and Mitts and all, or the escort missions over there.
All right, the moment of truth. A heart.
Okay, all right, we know what we're talking about. All right, so where's the lamp? Excuse me? I don't know.
Huh. Canyon Swamp. Well, not Eastern, not deserts.
We did Hera. I have no idea. I'm really confused. Oh, Zora. Yeah, Zora makes sense, doesn't it?
Zora. Oh, we didn't see any of that, did we? Did we
No.
see, like, the waterfall? I'm so used to, you know, just doing that early on with fake flipper strats. I mean, that's what Christos is doing right now. So yeah, Zora. $500 for a lamp. What is this, Skyward Sword? Or Twilight Princess?
Or A Link Between Worlds, where you pay for your item.
The super lamp that was like...
Oh, that's an ice rod over in Hobo. Wow, so technically a required double dip on Turtle Rock.
Furaime taking a death warp here out of Thieves Town. Weird to see a first dip in Thieves Town at about the 54-minute mark.
Yeah, he had a lot to distract him, and I mean, he still has so many things that are off his plate right now, and I'm really concerned when he's going to make his way to get those boots. I mean, as far as we know, you don't even need those to do anything outside of just not be slow.
Unfortunately, Christos's early aversion to glitches is not going to be rectified by his now embraceal of them.
Okay, I think that's the 5th pod small key, so we know where every small key to pod is.
Yeah, now we just need the big one.
Alright. This isn't a lamp.
Yeah.
I think we might need 2 replacement commentators here.
Oh my goodness.
I was just kidding, by the way. Well, dude, I have no idea anymore.
There's got to be some locations I added in V29 that were top secret, you know.
There's the lamp and hammer pegs. Where exactly did
Okay.
we find those mitts?
Well, the mitts were very early on.
They weren't in the dark room, I guess. I thought that they were, so.
No, we only got hookshot and Kane in the dark room, and I think our first bottle. Okay, so sequence has been restored. We're actually good at our jobs. Please don't hate us.
That was 100% my fault. I thought that the mitts were in the dark room, so. Well, I think Christos is about to get his lamp, and he might be doing some mirrorless Smith and purple chest here. Because he's really running out of things to do very quickly. And Furaime will be doing his dig game. I don't think we'll see that many extra digs from him to get money. He's been pretty rich the whole seed. But yeah, Furaime is, you know, his diligence has been paying off for him in the extent of, you know, full clearing the places he's been. But man, Christos is really seemingly catching up to that progression that he's missing a lot quicker than Furaime is. Feels like he's going to be heading towards the pyramid or anything else.
Yeah. Honestly, I think Christos's aversion to going to Turtle Rock is costing him some time here. He has to do a lot of these one-off checks, and it's, you know, not really paying off so far. I mean, the lamp in hand is nice, but...
I mean, he did get the ice rod, so again, whenever he goes to Turtle Rock, he's going to be able to take care of it. If that mirror is on Laser Bridge, I mean, that could be outright go mode for him whenever he makes his way there. I guess you're still missing some big keys, but it could be item go mode.
Could be. We're still technically missing a key for Turtle Rock. Will Christos, you know, skip the vanilla big chest? Probably. Or big key chest, I mean, probably. But, yeah, like you said, Christos will be able to just fully clear Turtle Rock the first go-through.
It was really interesting if you wanted to see the value of boots. They were pretty much in sync there with turning in the Smith, and Christos saved about 10 seconds.
So Furaime is finally doing something with these flippers. Like, we've seen these flippers so long ago. And maybe Furaime was on the same page as us for a while, you know, just the lack of that lamp was kind of suspect. And as you were saying, you know, it wasn't necessarily just the lamp that was missing. Something could have been leading to the lamp, something important like the mirror. So I do understand the play to ignore the flippers. I don't particularly agree with it, but I think Furaime is still in a good position.
Yeah. I think it's really going to depend, again, where that mirror, these last pieces of progression are. I think if there's anything in the back of Turtle Rock, that might be a little bit bad for Furaime. believe it or not, because I think Christos is going to have a much more efficient trip when he makes his round up there. Looks like Furaime, he's going to Zora instead of Ice Palace. That was a cool little fake flipper there. That was just Furaime's third key to pod, so I mean, at least he knows whenever he finds the, or it was his fourth, so he's good. I forgot, the one he's missing is the one in Spike Cave, I believe.
Right. This is some serious aversion to Ice Palace, though, I must say.
This is really funny that Christos, he's saving his mushroom for a fake powder that, you know, we know he's really not going to be able to utilize that much, but I guess he could if you got the cane, if the first thing you wanted to do with it was fake powder opposed to finish Turtle Rock.
Well, looks like Christos is actually heading back into Eastern.
Yeah, he was getting bottlenecked pretty hard as far as actual progression. And I mean, at this point, he knows that there's something here, and it's not just the lamp.
Okay, and Furaime is now actually going into Ice Palace. Maybe.
Yeah. Ice Palace is not the most fun dungeon to do without boots. You kind of... They're nice to have because you don't slip around and slide as much. You can kind of use those to keep yourself moving in a straight line. So he's going to not have that benefit, whereas once Christos makes his way over there, he'll be alright for that. The only real routing benefit I could see here is maybe Furaime is going to get, you know, the mirror in here, and then he can go do Swamp and get the remaining big keys that he needs, and then when he heads back up to Death Mountain to finish Turtle Rock and Hera, he can do them in one trip. But that's always far from likely in Keysanity.
Do remember that there is a big key on top of the ledge inside.
Yeah, that's very true also.
On the mountain, I mean. So, speaking of that, you know, you're talking about item go mode. This is Keysanity, so what do we need to finish this seed?
We're going to need a flute, a mirror. We need that big key to Pod. We need a big key to Mire, and a big key to Thieves Town, and a big key to Ganon's Tower. So 4 big keys and 2 key items.
Did you say Mire? We already have the Mire key.
I didn't. Yeah, I did say Mire. I had Thieves Town, Pod, and Ganon's Tower. Exactly.
Okay, so that's 5 more items we need, at a minimum.
Yeah, could still need Quake. Furaime is going to need another small key to Turtle Rock also, which has been found by Christos, and I don't remember where. It could have been in Hera, I suppose.
Ah. Maybe. Yeah, other than that, I think we're good on small keys. We have the 4 minimum for Palace of Darkness. Christos has all of the keys for Turtle Rock, which he'll be clearing right about now.
He's got all but 1, so he would have to leave that vanilla big key dormant, but we know there's nothing there.
Yeah, just an arrow upgrade. So I think if Furaime plays his cards right, you can go up to Death Mountain, grab that small key from Hera, complete Hera, and then be able to complete Turtle Rock as well. Now, if we have the mirror in the mix, that's just icing on the cake. Ooh, Thieves Town big key.
Alright.
Palace.
That was one of our must-have items right there. Oh man, wouldn't it be really fun if our like last remaining item was from like the green pendant or something? The good old triple dip Eastern seeds.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a flute. Wow. All right.
Ice Palace is really paying off. It's almost like the game was telling Furaime to go there.
I mean, kind of. Really, only had one small key and no big key. The logic just wants you to double dip everything these days. So cruel.
Nice bomb jump on Furaime's end, by the way.
Yeah, that's a fun one. If you noticed, he kind of lined his back up with the chest there. That puts you on the correct x-axis, and then you can just set your bomb directly down. And as long as you have a pretty wide window, it's probably like 4 pixels, but you just move 1 through 4 pixels to the right, and you will be set up to make it across that gap.
Personally, I like to take the other path by falling down that trap room into this large icy floor room, going downward, opening that chest, and then bomb jumping over. And this bomb jump to the from right to left is completely free.
Oh, that's right. You just position yourself in the top right corner, holding right. You can just place a bomb there, and you're good. Yeah.
Unfortunately for Furaime, not going to be able to full clear this dungeon. Still missing that big key. It has to be out there somewhere. It's required to beat the game, but it's not actually required to beat the game, necessarily.
So we'll probably see Christos grabbing this key and leaving forever. I don't think you'd want to open that chest. Go hunt down another small key. And this is going to be Master Sword for Furaime, and man, it might... it depends where that other sword is, but I see him making very little excuse to go check that one chested pod to get tempered.
Yeah. We don't have silvers yet either. Having silvers makes Master Sword a lot better for like the end game. But yeah, not having it is kind of painful.
So I imagine we'll probably see Furaime heading over to turn in his flute, and he'd probably just opt to finish Thieves Town while he was in the area.
Yeah.
Christos will be giving us some new uncharted territory with 4 chests on Laser Bridge and then the item from Trinex itself.
Mm-hmm. So Furaime's route probably gonna... Is this really the first time we're seeing this on Furaime?
No, he's checking that one chest in the sewers right now.
Ah, okay. But, so after this, Furaime's probably gonna do what you said, activate the flute, do Thieves Town, then do Mire area, and then probably Mire as well. And oh, sorry.
No, I'll go right ahead.
And for Furaime's sake, he better hope he finds the mirror somewhere in that chain of checks. Oh, there's our third B-Torp.
I'm very surprised that there was no progression in one of those chests in Laser Bridge. We still have, Trinex having the option to pay out with something good here, but outside of that, that's really interesting that there was nothing there. I think Furaime is pretty much hell-bent in beating the seed without the boots at this point.
Yeah. Unless the big key to Ganon's tower is on that torch.
I think that's the only way that they could be required at this point, believe it or not. It's a good one cycle for Trinex there. It's a lot harder to do than it looks. Christos always likes to do that, make the game look easier than it is. I don't know how he does it. Just 3 blueberries and the crystal for Trinix. That's 2 crystals for Christos and 2 pendants.
Yeah. Christos, while having spent a lot of time, unfortunately, like basically full clearing what he had available to him before returning to Eastern Palace, I think he has quite a bit of advantage here.
Yeah, he's been consistently making up time having those boots. You know, didn't have to double dip, or you know, Furaime may or may not have to double dip Eastern, but you know, at the same time, he did just double dip Turtle Rock as well, or he's going to have to do that and other things. So this will probably be Christos' chance to go to Ice Palace now.
I want to comment on these hookshot strats here in Thieves Town. Furaime using the hookshot to hook from lamp to lamp in that room.
Yeah, I don't know if that's fast or not. It looks cool though, and it's fun to do. You gotta do something to keep your mind occupied when you don't have the boots and these seeds.
Alright,
Yeah,
so where's Christos going?
He's going to Ice Palace. He wanted to go to Swamp Palace. He didn't have the mirror, so he's like, well, I guess I'll do the other flipper lock thing instead.
Yeah.
I was wondering what he was going to go do. I was kind of ready for him to blow my mind of something I didn't realize, but yeah, he just didn't have the mirror.
And Furaime is going to be giving us some new information in the back half of Thieves Town here. We get the inferior model, the red boomerang.
Yeah, the lag model of the Boomerang Edition.
It's like the prototype before they, you know, toned it down to fix all the bugs.
I like to refer to it as the Millennial Sparkle Edition. That's the red boomerang as far as I'm concerned.
So fortunately for Furaime, and also Christos, whenever he gets back to Thieves Town, we will be able to see the entire dungeon. Furaime opting to check the big chest and getting a shield. Strangely enough, doing that before picking up Blind himself.
I don't really know which way is faster at that point or not. I feel like I have no idea. I've always wondered which one way. It seems like they both take pretty much exactly the same amount of time.
Yeah, and you can avoid that conveyor room as well.
Yeah. I almost wonder if that way that he did's a little bit faster, but the reason that that way was not modernized and, you know, the standard and open version is because of finding that small key in Blind's chest. Then you would have to go do the big chest afterwards, but since this is Keysanity and you already have that key, then maybe it's faster to do it the other way.
Get a blind fight here. It's probably going to go pretty well, unless Furaime somehow drops it. It's a pretty consistent fight.
Doing good so far. Yeah, the good old scripted fight. 9 hits to the head, takes him out. That looked pretty much almost perfect there.
Yep, get a big key. Nice Palace. That's
oh no.
Not what you want to see.
Oh no. That's really funny. Wow.
Yeah, to anybody just tuning in, Furaime did do Ice Palace already. There's only the one chest left in Ice Palace, the big chest.
Well, you got the big key too. Thieves Town in Ice Palace. This game is so cruel.
Yeah. So hopefully for our runners, the big chest there doesn't have anything important. So Furaime making a liar out of me, opting to do the purple chest, which is actually a good idea if you're in the area.
Yeah, he's gonna do that, and then after that he'll probably just head over to the mire area. Since he can actually full clear that as long as it's not locked by Quake.
And It can't be locked by Quake. I mean, it can, but that would be really mean.
If Quake's in that Ice Palace big chest, or the mirror, or something's from Armos.
Who hurt you?
What do you mean, who hurt me? I was in the Keysanity tournament. That's why these things come to my mind, because I've already dealt with all of this. I've watched people deal with it. This mode is very angry.
What was it?
I could not tell. I saw that it was a golden circle. That's all I saw.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. Well, depending on what Furaime does...
He didn't save
after
and quit.
exiting it.
So I think it was either Bombos or Ether. That good old Bombos? Wait, what was that? An escape, I think?
Alright. Christos getting, dropping the puffs, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's...
Sorry.
Oh, I mean, he took an early hit there, and he didn't really have very much room for another one, but it did not slow him down at all. He stayed very aggressive, making sure he's finishing these boss fights about as quick as he can. I even noticed he did that, with Moth earlier when he only had 5 hearts. He's been pulling no punches this entire race. His execution is really on par.
Yeah. Furaime also showing off a nice strat there with the Cane of Samaria in that first, horde room inside Missouri Mire.
Yeah, it's really nice to, when you don't have the boots, it's hard to get up there quick enough to one-cycle those whiz robes so you can use the nonsense of Samaria to kind of kill them. Almost seems like they designed the game for it to be used that way, except, in the vanilla game, you wouldn't have the Cane of Samaria to do that room the first time.
Right. Alright, so Furaime being a bit of a pessimist, going directly to this very, very long animation.
Yeah, full clear this dungeon going this way, I think, is probably the most efficient. Of course, if you could skip it, then that's usually the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Christos has all 3 keys to this dungeon, so we know this has to be within the realms of the logic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you never really want to skip this, I feel, in Keysanity. But, especially when it has the mirror.
There's our mirror. Okay.
So that's actually good news for Furaime, because Furaime might be heading to the Hera area and then be able to finish Turtle Rock in one sweep.
Actually, at this point, I take that back. We're still missing Big Key to Pod, so... he is good to go mode the game, except for Pod. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. That Big Key to Palace of Darkness often is kind of it's like a champion at hide and seek in Keysanity.
It seems really rude that it's eluded us for that long, considering the game basically told you go to Pod right at the very beginning, and then it's like, oh, by the way, we won't give you the big key till the very end. It doesn't seem right.
Yeah. But the old question... Oh, never mind. Completely scratch that. Ganon's our big key inside of Misery Mire. I was gonna ask, if we do find the big key to Palace of Darkness, do these runners, actively look for it?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was about to ask you, too. That's really interesting. What's even more interesting is we know where one big key is right now. It's a 33% chance that it's the big key to Pod, because we haven't seen the Swamp or Skull Woods big keys yet.
Yeah, and Furaime just got the item needed to actually get it. A little late, Castle Tower, small key. Although, it's entirely possible that the last item we need is there.
Yeah. No, Furaime never finding the boots or any of the swords. Yeah, he's never gonna get that tempered sword now. That's gonna be a big problem for him. Because this go mode's Palace of Darkness big key. Why would you ever go back there? Also, no silvers and no tempered makes Vitreous not the most fun fight ever. He doesn't have a cape to really use half magic spin strats. You can use lag strats with Burna, I guess, or shoot a bunch of arrows.
Yeah. And the thing with Burna, you can't even use spin attacks.
Yeah. Christos is about to get his wonderful Ice Palace big key here. Using his blue early. Oh, excuse me, it was from blind, not from the big chest.
Although we do have the bow. You know, the bow and a suitable amount of arrows is, you know, pretty good.
Yeah, he's using some good strategies on the side here. You actually don't take the poison damage on the right side. You do on the left, though. Just because, you know, this game and how it works. So, good Vitreous fight. Then we have Christos doing his scripted blind fight. He seems to be doing just fine here. See, he looks a little bored with it.
Yeah. So where's Furaime gonna go now with the mirror in hand? Probably first check checkerboard gate again.
Yeah, checkered board, and then, man, I think he's probably gonna hightail it up Death Mountain and check that big key. He knows it's there, and then he might, you know... Well, he doesn't have that Turtle Rock small key yet.
Well, he still has to do Hera, and we know, you know, Hera is a good choice if you want a small key in Turtle Rock. Oh, we get a fairy in a bottle. Fortunately, Furaime
he thought about it. We'll just push that block. He didn't like where it was anyways.
Yeah. We're more than happy with our 3 bees in our bees in bottles. Well, I think Furaime.
He's hitting the swamp instead. And this is an interesting play. He really doesn't want to make that extra trip up the mountain. Either that, or he is misthought about that big key that's on the floating island.
That is true. Maybe Furaime is just gonna go mode swamp. I don't know.
I'm not sure either. It's a pretty interesting call, and like I think why not going to Death Mountain first is not that good of an idea, is because, I mean, that big key up there could just be the big key to Swamp or the big key to Skull, but man, if it's the big key to Swamp and then the big key to Pods and the big key to Swamp, you probably would have been a little happier with yourself if you went up there first.
Yeah. I think if you have a clear idea of what could potentially be Go mode, I think getting that knowledge on whether or not you're actually in Go mode is very valuable.
But I mean, if you just find the big key to Pod outright, Swamp, then of course this is the correct play, and this play will save him, you know, probably 3 or 4 minutes.
Christos is slightly behind in terms of overall new information, but he does have an advantage in that Turtle Rock Crystal and also the Tower of Hera Crystal.
Yeah, the Turtle Rock Crystal is kind of the big one too. That's a pretty time-consuming clear. I would say Christos is at least 5 to 6 minutes ahead at this point.
Yeah, and as we've been saying, the boots, you know, are in no small part contributing to that lead.
Yeah, the boots are, yeah. He's never gonna find them.
Yeah. This
He
is
might,
like,
but it's
it's like the tortoise and the hare, except in this case, I think Furaime is just gonna lose.
oh no. And again, you know, not having the boots, your opponent gains that time on you. What's really unfortunate about it as well is the sword situation too is not looking too good for Furaime either.
Oh,
he got that Turtle Rock small key. That might have been also something else he was holding out on.
that's actually good. Furaime has better reason to go up to that big key. Furaime also can clear out Turtle Rock and then Hera. And it looks like, yeah, we are skipping the left side.
I think he did know about that big key up there. He just wanted to go ahead and just clear out these few chests and swamp. Yeah, probably trying to find that Turtle Rock small key, and then if he outright finds the pod big key here, then he knows he can skip all of that other stuff up there also, instead of having to go up and down again. Christos is getting his big key to Ganon's tower. So he is just one big key away as well.
Yep. And Christos also remembers, you know, what's on the mountain. At least we hope.
I mean, you know, maybe it's not there. Maybe you forget and you do left side swamp and you find the big key to pod. That's where a mistake could end up winning you the race.
I'm wondering if Furaime is going to bother going into left side swamp. I mean, in Keysanity, I think it's, if you're going to do it, you should just do it, but...
I don't think he's going to do it.
Yeah. I'm just really curious about what that key is. I want to know. Someone get up there.
I think we'll see it soon enough. Furaime might actually check Bombos and South of the Grove while he's over here. And then after that, I think he'll head up Death Mountain. Oh, interesting. He's trying to pull this off. This is a pretty... he's switching the spins. A cool strategy to do Master Sword Argus is to pull a puff, swing once, then pull another puff, then swing once, then pull another puff, and swing once, and then that's technically a little bit faster, I think, than all the other ways, but it definitely takes some practice to be thorough at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of fast strats with Argus that have risen in popularity with Randomizer. Like even Fighter's Sword Argus can be incredibly fast as long as you have like silver arrows or something to deliver the final blow.
And that was a really nice quick kill from him. I don't think I've ever actually seen a quick kill with Master Sword. I didn't know you were able to get 3 fire rod shots in a spin off without him leaping away.
Alright, so we are officially skipping left side.
Yep, and he's heading to Death Mountain.
Not a bad idea. Now, are we going to be seeing Hera first, or are we going into Turtle Rock? I guess it doesn't matter, because Furaime does have everything he needs to get all the way through Turtle Rock. He even knows that the vanilla big key chest has nothing good.
Yeah. And he knows he's going to have to make another trip up here, so it doesn't matter too much. And that's Christos getting his 5th crystal, so he's just going to have to go do Swamp, and then we will continue the hunt for the pod big key.
Well, he did just get the mirror, so Chris might actually go up the mountain as well.
Yeah, again, I don't even think that's a bad play, because, I mean, you know, like I said, that could be the big key to Swamp to get your big key to pod. I think it has a little less value on Christos' side than Furaime did, just because Furaime hadn't completed Hera and Turtle Rock and all that, so we still had a lot of stuff to do up here. But again, you know, you never know. And that's looks like what he's doing. He wants to know what that big key is, and he's probably going to tell us faster than Furaime will.
So yeah, it looks like Chris is, assuming this is the Palace of Darkness big key, which you say it's a 1 in 3 chance. It's probably a bit higher than that, just given the fact that. Actually, maybe not, because we do know all 10 dungeons are technically required before Ganon's Tower.
No, you're actually right. It probably is a little higher than a 1 in 3 chance because the Swamp Palace big key and Skullwood's big key are not tied to completing those dungeons.
That's true. So yeah, scratch that again. It's always a little suspect when you don't see things like that, things that block single locations. So this big key, probably at least a 67.25789% chance of Palace of Darkness.
I don't know. I was gonna say like 64%, but I round.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Ooh, Furaime getting bounced back up on the ledge by Moldorm. Have to get these 3 spins because Moldorm does not respect Master Sword damage.
No, it's really rude of him, to be honest. All right, what's the key gonna be? And that is our big key to Dark Palace. So Christos is in go mode. All he has to do is finish Swamp and Pod.
Yep. Heading to Palace of Darkness first. Furaime, unfortunately, is gonna be quite a ways behind. Has to grab the key, has to go into Turtle Rock, complete Turtle Rock, even though, it's just walking through the dungeon at this point. And, also has to do Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a... sees that key over there, too. I guess he's gonna grab it. I can take this portal. Yeah, I mean, they're both only lacking 2 crystals, but ChristosOwen definitely not only has the tools to do it faster, he has the tools to complete Ganon faster, and I think his clears are just faster outright. So yeah, he has a definite substantial lead right now.
Mm-hmm. This is honestly like my nightmare scenario that Furaime's in right now. Your opponent has the boots,
and
you don't
swords.
have the boots. You don't need the boots or anything. It's just you're de facto faster when you have the boots. And you're just sort of walking around while, in your mind, your opponent could just be prancing about like they own the place. But yeah, Furaime, also in go mode.
He'll just leave here. I think that saves him exactly 1 screen transition. So, might as well. And to a question in chat, the boots are on the pyramid, so... The turtle room here.
This is what's the word?
A great
like a
race.
lesson.
Oh, a lesson. Yeah.
This is a lesson to all you aspiring randomizer runners out there.
Don't skip the pyramid.
Don't skip these
anything
weird one-off locations.
Yeah, this is a lesson. To anyone trying to learn this game, don't skip anything that's required or that makes your life better. But skip all the other stuff that's not required, or it just serves no purpose. That's actually how you become the best. Did I miss anything? Did we get all that?
That's it.
Okay.
Just play perfectly. Get all the items you need, and none of the items you don't.
Yes. Die 2 bosses at the most 0 times.
Yeah. But in all seriousness, Keysanity as a mode has an absolutely massive variance in finish times that isn't really tied to your level of skill in routing. Like, you could route... Like, you could route, I don't know, perfectly in open or standard mode, and even in Keysanity, but unless you're gonna commit yourself to full clearing everything, stuff like this is always gonna happen. And even if you do commit yourself to full clearing everything, there are always gonna be times where, like, you'll dip a dungeon in one scenario, and then have to come back, like, 2 more times. And nobody wants to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's really disappointing, I think. Oh, man. You know, outside of, you know, Turtle Rock being cleared and whatnot, for the most part, they've really checked about the same amount of stuff. It's just unfortunate that 2 checks that Christos has done that Furaime hasn't, you know, contain boots and a sword, but that's Randomizer. You know, this is the variance that we love and what makes it fun.
Yeah. Honestly, outside of not checking Pyramid, I think Furaime's routing might have been better. And I guess maybe not doing fake flippers before Turtle Rock. Like, those are the 2 big things.
Yeah, man, that fake flipper for Turtle Rock, I mean, that would have been really slick if you would have pulled that off.
But we also still needed a Key, I think. That's another thing Christos had his first trip up to Death Mountain.
I guess admittingly, like, the only reason you needed the flippers was to finish Swamp. That was it. You could have fake flippered and gotten all the other progression. There was no progression in Swamp. Yeah, it's really tough to, you know, connect what double dips you should, you know, commit to, which ones you're, you know, forced to make, which ones that might just be better to make, even though you're not forced to. It's really hard to read all that stuff, Keysanity.
Yeah. And sometimes you can just do a sequence break that either makes or breaks a run. Like we saw in the tiebreaker race.
Good old fake powder. Yeah, I guess this was the anti-Zelga seed because it did not want you to fake powder by any normal convention whatsoever. It really tried to keep that from you. Yeah, so all Furaime has to do is finish Total Rock and he can head into Ganon's Tower, but all Christos has to do is finish Argus and climb Death Mountain, and then he can go into Ganon's Tower.
Yeah. So Furaime, not that far behind. Turtle Rock, if you're just running through it, he's still kind of painfully slow, but...
He's not running through it, though. He's walking through it because the boosts are on Pyramid.
That is true.
So, I don't know if that changes anything.
Yeah.
Good thing, though, the conveyors here move exactly the same speed with or without boots.
A quote-unquote good thing. One of my least favorite mechanics in this game. These conveyors.
Really? That's your least favorite?
It's just so slow.
My least favorite thing in this game is any dungeon that has an element of water in it.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to be specific enough.
Swamp.
Yeah.
Ice Palace.
Sewers?
Ice Palace.
Oh, yeah, I guess Ice Palace.
No, the sewers are fine. Those can stay.
I always forget that ice is just frozen water.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, I think their entry time, I mean, it's only going to be, man, like, what, 2 minutes, if that?
Yeah. 2 minutes, it seems. We'll probably see exact Ganon's Tower entry times. Now, again, these two are very experienced, very good runners, very good NMG players as well. So the lack of silver arrows isn't really going to cause much concern. Christos still has that sword advantage. Tempered is huge for Ganon compared to, Master Sword. So Furaime coming into Ganon's tower, probably about 1 or 2 minutes, like you said, behind Christos.
Yeah, and he's going to check chest in here in the back of Laser Bridge. He might actually even check a few chests in Ganon's tower, just because the amount of time that you're going to save by finding a sword or silvers opposed to not is negligible to the time it takes to check the chest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Christos will probably be checking the chests upstairs as well.
He might check 1 or 2, but his adventure is definitely a little bit more reasonable than Furaime's at this point. Yeah, it's still a pretty blistering, pace being in GT at 140, and the only thing he didn't do is finish Eastern Palace, but, I mean, he went in there twice, so, what more could you ask from the guy?
Yeah. I mean, at the end, both of these players are going to be sub 2 hours. In a Keysanity seed, that's pretty good. It's top 8 for a reason.
Even on this Trinix fight, you're kind of seeing some of the woes of not having that hot Cheeto sword there, because you got to menu, switch to your hammer, hit him a few times, then menu again, and I mean that just that seconds that are lost because of just the route he took. I will say, I don't think Christos is going to be... I mean, by no means does he think he's ahead right now with how he found that cane. I mean, he doesn't know where his opponent's at. He didn't know that his opponent decided to skip finding the boots and swords and stuff, but that was really like one of the last leg checks that he had, and that's always never a good feeling when you're in a race.
Yeah.
Typically, no one really feels ahead unless you do some like outrageous play that just pays off substantially.
I feel like the only times I ever feel like I'm ahead in races are the ones where I almost assuredly lose.
I actually will agree with you on that. The other time I feel ahead in races is when I'm playing by myself, but that's still 50-50.
Okay, so about 2 minutes... maybe about 3 minutes behind Furaime is right now.
Yeah. Yeah, at this rate, he'll probably be finishing Agatu or entering Ganon's tower right when Christos finishes. I'm assuming Christos doesn't find silvers up here.
Alright, we're in the second to last floor here.
There's our big key to Skull Woods.
Oh boy.
See how many more he decides to check here. Nope, he's going straight up. Christos is being a good scout for us, letting us know if Furaime is going to end up doing this Master Sword Silverless or not.
There's gotta be a sword in GT, right?
No. Not at all. I mean, we still have one chest in Aga Tower, Sash, the 2 in Eastern, left side Swamp, the big chest, and over there.
Yeah. Ice. Big chest.
Ice, big chest, yeah. Big bomb.
Okay. But playing the odds, I think there's gotta be a sword in here. And the silvers. Or at least one of those two.
Yeah. I don't know. Probably about 50-50. Wow, this is so far a flawless Agatu from Christos here. I mean, that's as good as you can do with that setup you got there.
Yeah.
You couldn't do that any better or any quicker.
Perfect Agatu. Could have been a double triple. Here, that's a 1 in 1 million chance.
I think that's exactly the math on that. It's really hard to get that when Agatu shoots that blue ball at you also.
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed this isn't a little bit closer, because I'm pretty sure when Furaime would have dropped into the pyramid, he would have checked pyramid to see if there was a sword there, and then he would have just been like, oh crap.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably going to end up doing that anyways, but he'll have known by that point. Looks like he missed the 1-1 cycle, but he got the free 1-2.
Yeah, that corner spawn is really nice. No silver, so we're going to be seeing silverless strats, but Christos doesn't have a sub 130 NMG time for nothing.
Find the... Oh, they were in the Hera basement. Lovely. We don't even know where that small key is.
Interesting.
Yeah, all Christos really has to do here is just keep it on the map, and he should be good to be moving on to, yeah, it'd be the round of 4.
Yep. As a reminder to everybody watching, this first round in the bracket stage is best of 1 matches. So Christos is actually, once he finishes Ganon here, going to be advancing, like you said. But next round will actually be best of 3, as well as the finals.
All right.
And bronze match.
That'll do it. GG to ChristosOwen, moving to the final, the last 4.
Yep, GG to Christos. And he finishes in first place with an SRL time of 1:46.58. Perfectly respectable time for Keysanity.
And I do believe he likes to come talk about his races at the end, so I think we might be hearing some words for him. We can ask him some questions about the seed.
Yeah, most runners like a minute to compose themselves.
Yeah.
Although some of them, like some of the runners, will immediately hop in. Like I don't know how you're not like a bundle of nerves at that point, but they're a lot more experienced at dealing with that sort of thing.
While we wait for Mr. Christos, we can watch Furaime do his Agatu. Ooh, only got the double there. Double-double?
Probably a triple-double here. Yep.
All right, I let's just hope here, Ruble, that he checks Pyramid for a sword upgrade or silvers, just so he can realize, like, that's probably what happened here.
Yeah.
Is he gonna do it? Oh man, I really wish he would have.
I think Furaime will figure it out sooner or later. Or told it.
Yeah, I think that's probably gonna be the first thing I tell him, actually. Probably something along the lines of, why didn't you go check Pyramid when you broke the game, you noob? That's probably what I'll tell him, in the nicest way possible, of course.
Yeah, I think that's the second time I've seen something like that.
I have
Saving
no
and
idea
winning.
how that happens. On the
Yeah,
pyramid.
no.
Yeah, cool trick to utilize before they hotfix it. So your time's running short on that one. I think it might get fixed pretty soon now.
Oh,
Looks like he's in the waiting room. I'll just pull him in. Oh, GG, Christos.
Hello.
Good game, man. I don't know whether to congratulate you or apologize to you based on your file name, but good game nonetheless.
Thank you very much. It was really intense, honestly. I made a few bad mistakes along the way, and I was fearing. I just thought I wasn't winning. So yeah, I guess I was not going to be too bothered if I'd lost. But then once I got into GT and like upstairs in GT, I was like, okay, if I lose now, then I'm going to be annoyed.
Okay.
So as long as I didn't get sniped, I was happy either way.
I guess maybe one of the periods you thought that might have really hurt you was when you found the Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, it was really stupid. I was like counting items as if it wasn't Keysanity. Got my third item, was like, well, that's Eastern done, and then saved and quit out. And then about 10 seconds later, I was like, why did I do that? And I was like, well, it's locked behind a dark room. It's probably not going to be the answer. And then just like slowly everything I checked led to nothing. And then I found the lamp and I was just like, okay, well, that's bad news for me. Honestly, it being Kane was a good thing. If it would have been like flippers or something, I feel like that would have been worse. At the time anyway. Not with how it played out, I guess. But I kind of escaped there. I got kind of lucky that it was the Kane and not something that was more important earlier on.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense too. I could tell you in just a few words of what had happened to your opponent. Basically, he's doing Master Sword Silverless bootless Ganon right now, so that's kind of
What? Wow.
It's pretty unfortunate for him that he.
Master Sword, bootless, silverless Ganon. Yo, he never went to Pyramid?
Well, you know what? You're kind of somewhat of a co-developer or developer of this game. He went to Turtle Rock because he had found his cane, and he checked the vanilla big key chest, and he did a hard reset after he used up that key, and he got spit out on the top of Pyramid, even though he hadn't killed Aga and didn't have the mirror. But he did not check it then. Yeah, so it would have been a really interesting opportunity for him, but he opted to be honorable and reset again.
I respect that a lot.
Or maybe he was just really confused. Probably.
Yeah, a V29 bug. What can I say? Yeah, this was my first V29 Keysanity, and there were a lot of maps and compasses early. I noticed that change a lot, considerably.
Oh yeah, it was really fun to watch though. I mean, again, your enthusiasm about this Keysanity tournament, you're moving on to the top four regardless, and I did notice, your past two tournaments, you kept running into Bin. Bin's not in this tournament. I mean, how do you feel about your chances of just, say winning the whole thing?
Well, with Ben gone, they're infinitely improved.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's still some tough opponents. Not least of all Andy. And he enjoys this and plays Keysanity a lot more than I do. So he's a lot less likely to make some of the mistakes I made today, for example. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think I would make it this far, to be perfectly honest, with Keysanity, because I don't enjoy it too much. And I think there's a lot of volatility, or potential for volatility, with the results of two races in a 1v1 setting. So really, I'm just wondering how long my luck lasts and things go in my favor. But we'll see. This was an interesting seed. I think this is the first time I've ever been able to go mode Swamp Palace in a Keysanity. So that was nice. That was very nice.
Being able to go mode anything, Keysanity is a dream come true.
Yeah, for sure. Like the time I got go mode, it's not the earliest I've had it, but it was the point at which like I've never had that much game content left to beat while being in go mode in Keysanity before. Like I had the rest of Pod and all of Swamp and all of GT just to breeze through. That's kind of rare, I think.
Nice. Yeah.
But yeah, so what was the biggest difference between us then in terms of like routing and stuff? I'm guessing the Kane of Samaria sending them to the Rock early.
Yeah, he went a little bit earlier, and then he made some of the plays on that chest itself, and then not having the boots, I think, for that long kind of really hindered him a lot, and then the sword for the Ganon time too. I think it might have been pretty close on the same time of entering the Ganon's Tower. He didn't do Desert as well. You had finished the 2 chests in Desert. He didn't do those. I think that was really the only divergence I saw.
That was actually another mistake. I saw it as a crystal. I marked it myself as a crystal, and then the amulets and a pendant dropped, and I was like, well, that's not what I was expecting. But the good thing is that was the 3rd pendant then, so I knew where the rest of the crystals were, so in a way it gave me a bit of information. But that was another silly error from me. I probably wouldn't have gone to Desert at that point if I knew it was a pendant.
Yeah.
And you never checked the pedestal, correct, with the book?
I did not. Because I had left that chest in Eastern, I was trying to pretend the pedestal in Eastern and Sahasrara weren't important for as long as possible, until it got to the point where the only thing left for me to do was fake flip it into Ice, or go back into Eastern and check that chest. Like, when I was returning to Eastern, I knew logically there was an item in there which led to something. So,
yeah,
because I'd done everything else open to me, which is kind of why I thought I was behind, because that's a bad position to be in. Like when you've exhausted all options down to 1, that's never great.
Right. Yeah.
But luckily, I'm glad I didn't fake flipper into Ice, because that led me to like that Turtle Thieves Down Big Key, which led to like Eastern Big Key, I think, and like it would have just sent me down the wrong path. So
it had the Ice Big Key in it, actually. That would have been the greatest thing ever. You get the Ice Palace, or you get the Thieves Town Big Key and Ice to get the Ice Palace Big Key in Thieves Town, just to go back to Ice. That
yeah. Oh, that's right. That's what happened, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, at the end, like after I beat Maya and had the mirror, and I was just missing Odd Big Key. Like I knew the Big Key on the island on Death Mountain, and I was hoping it's that. But I was like, okay, let's check a board quickly. But if it wasn't there, I had a bunch of horrible stuff left. We had all of Swamp, and then like all the mirror spots, like Skull Big Chest, Ice Big Chest. Like I was dreading having to make choices at that point.
Eastern for a 3rd time, why not?
Yeah. And pedestal. I think if that key on Dark Death Mountain hadn't been the Pod Big Key, I probably would have checked pedestal at that point, just to try and narrow down like where I had to go.
Well, the pedestal was actually a small key to Palace of Darkness, which was unusually a really interesting piece of information, because it did tell you a lot of stuff of where the items could be in the seed.
Interesting. Pedestal, pod small key.
Yeah, I mean, right off the bat, it tells you pod's a crystal, and then that also tells you that every item available to complete every dungeon is not in Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, that's actually real nice to know. I kind of wish I checked it. But no, I mean, it's not over yet for me. So another week, another Keysanity race. I think the next stage is best of 3, maybe?
That's correct.
Okay.
So, at least 2 more races for you.
Oh, God, I should have lost. Well, I guess hopefully it doesn't go to 3 matches. So hopefully it's decided after 2.
No, don't say that. You're breaking everybody's hearts here. Everybody loves watching these modes and having fun. We want best of 3, exciting finishes. And you know what? Maybe tie on the 3rd one. Do a 4th for fun.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, maybe we go 1-1 and then tie and have to rematch.
That's what we want.
Or we find, and then after that we find a seed which is like soft locked or something, and have to replay again. The
Even
dreams.
better.
The dreams.
Cool.
Okay, I think I'm gonna hop out of commentary here though. Unless you guys got any other questions, or
No, GG again, man.
thank you very much, guys. Thanks for commentating. And I'm not sure who the tracker was, but thank you very much, guys. And yeah, until next time.
Yep, see you. So Furaime opted out of doing an interview. So I guess that about does it for us. I'd like to give a shout out to our tracker, as Christos was referring to, dude. See those sandstorm emotes in chat. Also like to give a shout out to Feasel for putting on this whole affair. Like to give a shout out to the runners, like all the runners, making this tournament as good as it can be. Give a shout out to my co-commentator, Act the Poker.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I'd like to give a shout out to Furaime for getting 0 bonks that run. That's really impressive.
That is good. I also like to give a shout out to Christos's cam.
Oh, that's nice hair. That was an awesome race. GG, glad they could, give us something fun to commentate. That was really fun and exciting to watch.
The next race in this tournament is going to be Jet versus Zelga Dissen. That is going to be tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So that'll be a pretty hype match. So I guess that's it for us, unless you have anything else, Ak.
We have some 2 versus 2 races happening at 8 o'clock today on the Link to the Past randomizers. I think we have 2 of them at 8 o'clock, one at LTTP 1 and LTTP 2. So in case you're not done with watching Randomizer Day, we always got that working too.
I always forgot about the 2v2 races.
It's the mystery tournament. Yeah, with the crazy settings, you could have cross-world entrance, Triforce bingo for all you know. You get to have a lot of fun with that. So,
yeah, cool. Well, I'm gonna be signing off here. Thanks for watching, guys. Give the runners a follow if you'd like, and see you next time.